Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital. Now before I begin, be sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. When Gerald Hawley graduated from vocational school, he thought he would work in a factory. Instead, he was given the opportunity to help manage a business and land rent-free. How? We'll find out at the end of this video. But first, you may recently have heard of community land trusts, for they are thought to be one solution to the affordable housing crisis. And in today's video, we cover the basics of how these organizations work. Number 1, what is a community land trust? A community land trust is defined as a nonprofit corporation that retains ownership of land on behalf of a community while serving as the long-term steward for affordable housing, community gardens, commercial spaces, or other community assets. Number 2, how does a community land trust work? In the context of affordable housing, a family or individual will purchase a house that resides on land owned by the community land trust. The idea is because the homeowner is only buying the house, not the land, the purchase price will be more affordable. The homeowners will simply lease the land from the community land trust in a long-term renewable lease, often lasting 99 years. In return for the affordable house, the homeowners will agree to sell the home at a restricted price to keep it permanently affordable. Number 3, who controls a community land trust? A community land trust is controlled by, you guessed it, the community. It is often run by a board that is divided between homeowners residing on the trust, members of the larger community, and a housing nonprofit or local government body. Number 4, how do community land trusts build community wealth? They do this by providing homeownership opportunities to low and moderate income individuals, ensuring that these same individuals are not displaced due to land speculation or gentrification, protecting homeowners on the trust from downturns as they're not overextended, allowing direct grassroots participation in decision-making for the trust, and often also by offering a range of community-focused initiatives such as homeownership education, commercial development, and community greening efforts. And number 5, what are some of the potential issues with community land trusts? One of the biggest downsides for homeowners on a community land trust is there is less opportunity to realize appreciation compared to a traditional home. On top of this, a homeowner on a land trust will have restrictions on buying, selling, and leasing properties in the trust. In addition, there may be some instances of governance issues as the different parties on the board may have different goals and objectives. Finally, many community land trusts may find funding for land purchases a challenge, and depending on their size and available capital, may also struggle to implement the restrictions they put in place to ensure that homes remain affordable. Yet, though community land trusts do face some challenges, they are also a powerful tool for helping communities build wealth. And no story better encapsulates both their promise and weakness than that of New Communities. Born out of the civil rights era, New Communities was a response to the challenges faced by Black sharecroppers in rural Georgia during the 1960s. According to Georgia Sherrod, one of the founders, we would encounter people who are being asked to move off the land owned by white farmers if they participated in the movement. Georgia and her husband Charles sought a way to ensure the farmers in the area would never lose their land, even if they fought for the right to vote. The answer came to Charles when he visited a kibbutz in 1968 and saw how Israel was resettling its people on collective farms. He quickly realized that the Israel model could be utilized in the development of a land program for poor people in the rural South. The idea was a small village of private homesteads surrounded by large, cooperatively farmed fields. And when Charles returned from his trip, he and Georgia identified a 6,000-acre plot of land near Albany for their cooperative. They incorporated as New Communities and bought the land with some money from the Sharecroppers Fund, as well as donations from church groups and a few loans. And in the decades that followed the purchase, New Communities was a definitive success. More than 10 families, including Gerald Hawley, lived on the land, while dozens others grew soybeans, peanuts, corn, peas, strawberries, okra, and collard greens. As Boomy Anderson, another New Communities resident, remembers, It really gave me a sense that I could do anything. It was a group of people coming together with the same ideals, hopes, and dreams. But then, in 1981, drought came and settled into the fertile Georgia farmland. For years it lingered, withering the leaves of greens, beans, and okra alike. After 2 years of losses, new communities went to the Farmers' Home Administration for an emergency loan, and the county supervisor said, "You'll get a loan over my dead body." They appealed to Washington for help and were approved for a loan in 1985, but by then it was too late. The bank had foreclosed on the land. Sadly, the example of new communities shows how lack of funding and the ambivalence, if not outright hostility, of traditional institutions are hurdles that some community land trusts cannot climb. But this same example also shows that such obstacles are not impossible to overcome. For the story of new communities doesn't end here. Decades later, the trust won a $12 million settlement from the federal government and used the funds to purchase an old plantation house. Now, the property once owned by one of Georgia's largest slaveholders is an experimental farm and retreat, a place to heal for people of all races. Which just goes to show a strong community with a long-term vision can make miracles happen, no matter the odds. But what do you think? Do you have any thoughts on community land trusts? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come.